So we're going to start. Everybody should have 2 blocks and a tie. Thank you, Mike. And welcome to a new part of the studio. See, more changes going on for me. Just take a comfortable seat. Take a comfortable summer seat. Allow yourself to just settle into your practice this morning. We're going to go slow and we're going to go deep. I feel like it just kind of feels that way for me energetically. So index finger and thumb together in Chi Mudra as you find your way into your own inner landscape. Just take a couple of deep breaths in as you connect to the earth. And it's all about your connection to the earth. If you feel like you need to inner spiral so that you can get your sits bones to be a little bit deeper onto the earth, then do that. Let your legs and your hips feel weighty on the earth, and then lift up through the spine. Close your eyes and find your way into that deeper breath, bringing the breath down into the belly. And allow that to travel towards your inner landscape. So we just find our way present on the mat this morning, letting everything else go. Deep breath in, feeling our own personal connection to the earth. This is our summer practice, so we open and we expand to the way that the earth also expands for us. And this is the last day of July, so we breathe that in. Allow the breath to be long and deep, 4 long counts of an inhale in, and 4 long counts of an exhale out. And see, even here in this beginning of our class, that you begin to feel the breath in the back body. So you're not just breathing into the front body, you're feeling the back body open and expand. And feeling the wholeness, bringing the breath all the way down. By wholeness, I mean the depth, the prana, the gift, the gratitude of being able to breathe this deeply. And now bring your breath down into the belly, then let it rise all the way up to the lungs, and then from there, all the way up to the base of the neck. And hold at the very top of the inhale. Interrupt your breath a little bit. Inhale all the way up, hold, pause, and then exhale out from the throat, down into the lungs, and then again into the belly. And just feel how that allows you to just break some patterns. It lets the mind be a little freer. And you begin to connect to the breath a little bit more deeply. And then, with your next exhale, whenever that happens for you, you're going to let your chin go down to the chest and breathe into the opening of the neck and the upper part of the back. And just hold here for a moment and recognize what might feel tight to you. Bring your breath to that area. And just continue the long, deep 4 counts of a breath in, a pause, and then the exhale out. With every exhale, just let your chin move a little bit closer. Let something in your body begin to release. Release down, just relax. A few more times until we can really begin to feel like our chin is moving freely towards our chest. It's about allowing, not to the floor on either side of the hips. And on the inhale, lift the arms and lift the gaze in the seated sun breath. And stay inward in your inner landscape, and then turn and let your fingers go down to the earth and then back to chin to the chest. And then the palms roll upward again, arms and gaze all the way up. Stay in your inner focus, turn your palms, exhale and bring your fingertips down and your chin to the chest. 2 more times, palms roll all the way up. Turn your palms and exhale. And last time, palms roll all the way up. Hands go to prayer over your head, then down to the heart as you close your eyes and breathe into your own inner landscape. And at this moment in time, I want you to be grateful for your body. Let this practice be devoted to a gratefulness, almost a prayer of gratefulness for being in this body, for all that the body does that we know nothing about, so unconscious workings, miraculous workings of our body, the health of our body. And if you have parts of your body that need specific healing, I ask you to just bring some thought and energy to that place, asking for guidance and help in releasing any pain or any uncomfort. Taking a few more deep breaths in, and then opening your eyes and releasing your hands. Remember that we're 85% water, and water is all about emotions. So when we bring these deeper emotions, these wonderful emotions of gratitude and love into our being, it resonates through our body in a very real way. So let's turn over our knees, come into a table pose. Then we're going to put our toes together, roll back into an extended child. Amazing, huh? We're going to start the class with child's pose. Elbows down. And if you want to open your shoulders a little bit, you're going to bring your hands up in prayer, head down towards the floor, and bring your hands in prayer over your head. And again, just allow your body to breathe into your back body. Just feel your back body fill with breath. These are some exercises that we've been doing all the way along, but they are now teaching people with the virus as a preparation to breathe deeply into these places. So we're really going to push breath into the back body. Feel the back of your rib cage open and breathe. When we make this deeper inner connection, we know where we're going, even if we feel a little compromised. You need to feel it first. You need to experience it and let your breath move there. Doing that deep the 3-part yogic breath, belly, lungs, and throat, right into your back body. So it's that deep breath. Bring it to the belly. Belly, lungs, and throat, but just breathing into the back body. And again, just the gift of breath, the gift of your prana, this life-giving force. And just feeling that deeper connection. And then inhale, coming back into a table pose. And from here, we're going to bring the right leg forward, left leg back into a low Anjaneyasana. We're just starting practice. So again, we're looking to just gently open. So we're not overstretching the left hip. We're going to exhale to stretch the quad and inhale up. Stay upright so you're not hunched over. You're lifting all the way up. Exhale forward. Use that deep connected breath and inhale up. See if you can breathe into your back body as you are exercising. And inhale up, exhale forward. And inhale up, Exhale, forward. And inhale up, last time. Exhale, forward. We're going to take the left hand onto the floor, right hand onto the knee. Just do a gentle twist, just a little bit of a twist. Breathing in again. It's all about the breath. And bring the breath into the twist so don't lose that deeper connection. Like make it go a little deeper, a little stronger, a little longer. Good. Release. Come all the way back to center. Come back into the table pose. Pause to go back into a child pose. Toes together, hips back. And do this child pose in a way that feels right for you in your body. Maybe just fingers extended out. Maybe that you're bringing your hands all the way back behind you, resting on your head. Whatever allows you to connect to the breath. I'm going to ask you to think about the midline as you connect to this breath. So every class we have, I want you to feel that connection of the midline. Let the breath move on that midline. Because that also helps us to stay grounded, connected, to connect the dots in this yoga practice from one energy center to another. Just a few more deep breaths and come all the way back into the table pose. This time it's the left foot coming forward, right foot back. We're still just in the beginning of our class. So you're going to exhale forward, not overstretching the right hip. It's about the quad. Exhale forward. I would suggest curling the toes under so that you're holding the midline. The midline is right here. I'm always holding the midline. I'm always conscious and breathing on that midline. Exhale forward and inhale up. Exhale forward, inhale up, and last time exhale forward. Right hand is onto the floor this time. You're rotating the torso, just breathing, looking over to the left this time. Move the left head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. And then release that, come all the way back to center, this time to the table pose, with fingerprints down, back of the palm knuckles down. Exhale into your first downward dog, and just walk your dog, one heel up, one heel down. So we're just exploring the dog right now, still early in the practice. Fingerprints down, back of the palm knuckles down. So you really feel like your arms are hugging and your forearms are hugging in towards that midline. And you're still breathing into your back body. So let your back body feel the breath. We're going to move the arm bone up toward the ear and back. Let your heart go a little bit closer towards the floor. With the bottom part of the rib cage, lifting up towards your back, and then take your hips back a little bit further. Nice deep breath. Now walk your feet in, walk your hands in. Come into your first Uttanasana. Head down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Good. Exhale. Let it come from your breath. Now with the inhale, let the arms go out to the side. And then inhale all the way up. Hands come over your head and clasp over your head. As you bring your palms up towards the ceiling, find your feet onto the floor, four corners of the feet. Exhale over to the left. And inhale all the way up. And then to the right. And inhale up. So breathe into the side body now. So we want to feel the breath moving through the body. So we have this idea of just the breath in the lungs. It's everywhere. And just move back and forth with your breath as you feel the stretch. Good. And then release. And then bring your arms all the way down slowly. So you can feel the reverse flow of blood. You can feel the head of the arm bone getting a little hot maybe, and then move the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back, and then reverse the direction from the back to the front with a nice deep breath. Good. So you want to let your right foot go out to the side and your left foot back. We're going to start with Virendrasana 2. Going to bend into the right knee. Now the back leg, the back hip often wants to come up, and you want to press it back, then put energy into your foot with the little toe mound down, your left foot. Keep that stable, and then bend your knees a little more. Add the arms out into a T position. Then turn your head over your right and just feel the connection of your breath. Can you feel your back body breathing in this pose? Now, take the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back and hug in. You want to hollow the armpit. Hug into that center line, and you can feel your breath in the back body even more. So just notice as we connect the dots, connect into the midline, how much more of the breath is now present in our pose. That's the art of the pose. Bring your forearm, right forearm down. Bring your left arm sweeping down in front of you. We still don't have our head of the arm bone moving in the right direction, but that's a whole workshop that I'm going to have to do. And then bring the arm up. That's going to help you get your shoulder into the right place. Now, when you're here, take the top of the left thigh back, rotate a little more by bringing your belly in towards the spine, rib cage in. Now we're hugging into the midline even more. Add your right arm up and breathe. Good. And then inhale back to Virendrasana 2. And then hands onto your hip, just turn your right foot. So now we're in Pasarita Padottanasana. Exhale and come halfway. Shins go slightly forward, inner groins back. You want to feel the power of your torso. You want to stay on the four corners of the feet so you're not on the front part of your toes or the back heel. You're on four parts of your leg. Then release, come all the way down towards the floor with a nice deep breath. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Now you can see when you have your hands on the floor on a block, how we begin to release our belly. It's not as engaged. So to come up, we need to strengthen the legs a little more. So you bring your energy into your feet, little toe mound down, and then bring your belly up towards your spines, hands onto your hips. Let your body make the adjustment of the shift of weight, and then inhale and come all the way back up. That's how very simple poses in Anusara can make you have a sweat. Turn your left foot. This time, heel and arch should be in alignment with one another. That helps the hips to stabilize. Bend into your left knee this time. And then bring a little more energy into your back legs. You want to feel like you're hugging the midline again. Always hugging the midline. Once you really, that midline becomes yours, so many poses are available. Arms out. Take the right thigh back. Engage the belly, rib cage in, connect into the midline. Now, hug into the center. So you're going to hug in and breathe into your back body. It's kind of the theme, breathing into the back body with a nice deep breath. Good, then elbow onto your left knee. Not a lot of power here. Elbow on the left, swing your right arm up in front of you and over. That's going to help your shoulder be in the right alignment. Then you can take your belly in, rib cage in, breathe here into your back body. Nice deep breath. Trisha, get your shoulders way out. Bring it down in front of you and over. You should always see your hands. It should be over your head, not Trikonasana, over your head. Breathing, yes! There you go. Breathing in. Nice deep breath. Good, especially if you have shoulder issues, you really need to retrain the shoulders and inhale, come all the way back up. Nice deep breath. Again, hands onto the hips, turn your feet. So we're back to Pasarada Padottanasana. Now, if you're really flexible, you may want to come in a little bit to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge. If not, you want to find a place where your inner groins are stretching. Here, you might need a block. We're going to twist. You can bring a block in front of you under your heart. If you don't feel like you need a block, what's the parameter here is that you're not rounding your back. The minute you round your back, you've lost your core. I want your head and your core to work together. So let's just take a moment to do that. Bring your hands to your head. Lift up through the spine. Press your head into your hands, hands into your head. Now, stay connected to your core. Stay connected to your hands. Feet, I'm assuming your feet have got the right position where you have four corners of the feet down. You're going to exhale forward so you're parallel to the floor. Head to hand and belly engaged. Hand to hand. Can you feel that connection? Lengthen through the spine, and if you have a tendency to round, see if you can begin to break that tendency. Inhale and come all the way back up. Your head should always be in line with your spine. You don't want your head to go any further. We're going to do it again. Now just notice if you're dropping your head, what you're doing is you're stretching your neck and you're not getting it here and you're not getting it here. All right, so head of the arm bone up and back. Halfway, come halfway. Feel it. I have to bend my knees a little bit as a reminder to get the inner groins back. Hands are going to release. Left hand is going to go onto the block. You're not fully giving your power to that block though. Right hand onto your hip. Left thigh back. Rotate deeply. Do not bring your hands up. Do not bring your hands up. But take the right head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. So you're opening up your front right chest. Let's start getting all of that in the right place, and then we add the arms later. Nice deep breath. Good. Top of the thigh, left thigh back. Good. Release, come all the way back to center. Switch your hands. Right hand onto the block. Rotate the torso around to the side. Again, do not lift your hands. No hands. Left hand of the arm bone up toward the ear back. Get the feeling of your front body opening first. And when you get that feeling of the front body opening, it'll help you get your arm in the right position. Otherwise, we keep closing down the front body without thinking. Right thigh back. Rotate and breathe. Breathe into the stretch. Let the stretch come from that deeper part of your waistline. You can feel your whole organs beginning to twist. Release, come all the way back. Let your hands go on either side of the block. Head down towards the floor and breathe. With a nice deep breath. And here you want to give a little bit. Bend your knees. Let your head go down as far as you can. With a nice deep breath. Bend your knees. So move from one side to the other, keeping your feet solid onto the floor. And just feel that stretch. And as you're doing this bend, take the top of the thighs back so your inner groins are moving towards the back wall. Now, inner groins are happy, inner groins are stretched, lower back gets happy. So we just keep working towards these happy places in our body as we get older. And breathe. Then come back, release into a center. Release your hands back to your hips. Adjust so that your feet and your legs are strong to support your torso coming all the way back up. Good. Alrighty then. So, does anyone have 2 blocks or just 1? 2 or 1? I want to do a little heart opener here, but you need 2 blocks. So I'm going to show this, and hopefully you have 2 blocks. And I'm going to say, if you don't have 2 blocks, then you should have 2 blocks, because this is, we're all going to have our own equipment as we come back. So this is the, if you don't have a block, raise your hand. If you don't have any blocks. All right, Mary Lou, I'm going to show something else after I show this. Okay, so if you have your blocks, you're going to bring your mid back. This is the lower part of the thoracic spine, right onto the blocks, and you're going to let your head go onto the blocks. Move the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back, and you're going to let your heart open. And we're just going to breathe into that. Now, if you do not have blocks at this moment in time, what we're going to do is come all the way onto the floor, but we're going to make like we have some blocks. You're going to lift up, you're going to press into your head, move the arm bone up toward the ear and back, and you're just going to stay to the top of your head, hips down onto the floor, and breathe. So you're going to keep your heart chakra at the highest point. Now if you have a pillow or something like that that you can put underneath your thoracic spine, then please do. You might have a pillow on your blanket or a pillow on your couch. But again, you want your heart to be the highest point. And you want to breathe into the heart chakra. Just taking a nice deep breath into that space. Always taking the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. So you're opening up the front body. We have to retrain our shoulder girdle. Getting the head of the arm bone to be part of the back body and not the front body. And let the front body be what it is. Open, connected, and breathe. You want your heart to be strong too. So I always think of the tips of the shoulder blade when they can come in behind the heart to be like wings of the angel, supporting my heart to be open, knowing that I need to be strong in my center to be a little vulnerable out in a world like this. But to be looking at the world through an open heart certainly will help us all find unity on this planet. So we start in every possible way that we can, just breathing in. Just a few more minutes. Just taking a nice deep breath. Breathing right into the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, right between your breasts. And just notice as you are breathing into your heart chakra, are you feeling restriction there? Are you feeling an energy force that might be holding that energy, your heart energy, the heart chakra energy? You're just going to breathe into that space and allow for an opening. You may even want to connect into why your heart may feel a little restricted and just honor whatever that is and ask that energy to be released so that you can once again feel the open connection of your heart breathing in and breathing out. And then inhale and come all the way back up to a seated pose. So let's take, here we go. Good. That's always a very good, if you're ever feeling a restriction in your heart, it's a really good way to just kind of identify and come into that heart chakra. So we're going to take our thigh now, and we're going to come onto the Upavista Konasana first. So we're going to take the thigh, open the legs, and again we're going to connect to the belly and head connection. You're going to bring your arms up, move the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back, and as you do that, engage your head into your hand, and then make sure one thing, make sure your head is not doing this. You want to be in alignment. Head is in line with your spine and with your neck. So you're not doing one of these I'm texting poses. I'm texting on my phone and I've lost my curve in my neck. And you're lifting up. You've got a curve in your neck, you have a curve in your lower back. Head to hand, hand to head. And you're just going to pulse forward and then inhale up. I want you to feel the belly and head connection. Hug into the midline with your legs. That means your little toe mound is coming to your ear and your big toe mound is moving away. Inhale up and exhale, come forward to your edge. What means your edge? When you've lost your belly and your hand and your back of your head connection. That's when you've gone too far. You want to feel that connection the whole time because we're training our body to connect our energy centers. And I find that this situation of head and belly is used so many times in most of the poses, in all the poses. But you got to feel it first. Head, hand, and belly. Good. Then inhale and come all the way back up. Good, so we're now going to take our thigh, come onto our left side. We haven't done this pose in a while, Uttanasana. So you're coming on your side, you're taking your thigh, and you're going to put your thigh around your foot. You're going to pulse your foot in towards your head. And I've got my hand on my head, reminding me that I still have the head and belly connection. Don't think that stopped just because you're on your side. And pulse your toes in. You might be able to hold the outside of your foot, and if you can, then do. Just pulsing in. Nice deep breath. Good. And then release the time. You're slowly going to be bringing your leg all the way down. Your toes are up towards the ceiling and they're at a 45-degree angle. So now as your toes come down towards your left foot, you're going to straighten your foot so it's more like both feet are on the floor, and you're going to swing your front leg, your right leg back and forth. Just opening up the hip. Back and forth. Breathing in, Uttanasana. Nice deep breath. Back and forth. Good. We're going to come back to stillness. And I want you to lift your leg up, spread your toes, little toe mound coming towards your head, big toe mound pressing away, and you're going to squeeze the leg down towards the left foot as if you have a beach ball between your legs, hugging the midline so your whole leg is engaged. You should be able to hit your top thigh, calf muscle, quads, and hamstrings. They're all engaged as you're lifting your leg up and down. Good. Up and down. Just keep breathing in, lifting up, inhaling up, and exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. You're squeezing a beach ball. Come all the way down. So bend into the knee. You can do the tie again around your foot. Or if you can hold onto the outside of the foot, either way, you're lifting the foot up and you're pulsing the foot towards your head a little bit more. Now take the top of the thigh back. Good, just opening up the hip a little bit. Just making that connection. You're either taking your tie around your foot, breathing in. Good, then release and come all the way down. Once again, slowly bring your leg all the way down and then switch. Come all the way back to the other side. Right side, you're on your hip. We're going to start by just letting the leg lift. Left leg lifts, knee comes in, tie. It's not going to be as open as the last time we do it, but we're going to pulse the toes in. You're going to stay in your center to balance and to pulse. So just notice that. We're going to do this a few times. Again, breathing deeply. Remember the back body breathing. Let your breath support the opening. Breath is always present. It's part of the grace as we move through our practice. Good. And then release that and slowly begin to bring your left leg down towards your right. First we're going to kick. So we're going to let the left leg kick front and back. Hopefully you have enough room to find front and back in your practice, in your practice room. I'm a little tight here. I'm very conscious of the altar, about ready to hit it, I think. And no two sides are the same, so you want to notice what is different on the left side than the right. It's not right or wrong, there's nothing about that, it just means you need to bring a different awareness to the practice as you are doing it. So you're going to come back to center, lift the leg up. You're going to spread the toes, and we're going to slowly squeeze that beach ball all the way down, left foot to the right foot. Inhale up and squeeze. Again, left foot to the right foot. Take your time because you want to feel the midline. You want to feel that connection between your legs. You want to feel your leg is engaged so it's not just flopping around. It's not just core work. You want to connect foot, leg, core together. We're connecting centers. Inhale up again and exhale, release. Good. And then one last time, bend your knee. You're going to bring your tie around your foot. You're lifting up. Now you might be able to hold the outside of your foot. Either way, big toe mound presses away, little toe mound comes in towards your ear. And you're going to pulse the toes towards your head, and not in a way of force. Do this in a way of breath. So we're looking for the stretch, but not the strain of it. We just want to find the opening with a sense of ease. So release some of the holding. Release outcome, just feel the stretch. Good, then release, let the tie go, bring the leg all the way back to find the right leg. Come all the way back up. Good. And take a nice deep breath. And here, I want to do a twist. So you're going to inner spiral. You're going to do Matsyendrasana. Cross the right leg, the left leg over the right and lift all the way up. Ardha Matsyendrasana. So first, before we do anything, can you feel your legs engaged? You have your toes engaged so that your top of the thighs are lifting down. Right arm reaches, crosses over. Now before we begin to straighten up, and before we begin to open the front, just feel the breath in the back body first, then lift up and rotate it. Do it with the breath. Nice deep breath. So you're looking for the twist. You're looking for an open front body, arm to leg, leg to arm. When I have those two really working together, I can work the core a little bit more. And again, you're just looking for that deep connection. You're looking for the inner landscape. Nice deep breath and release. Come all the way back to center. Both legs go straight out. You're in an inner spiral. And then come forward. You're going to come forward maybe with your tie. I would like you to explore a flat back first. And that means the back is not doing this. So that's an MO for a lot of students. So we kind of have to break the pattern. How do we do that? Is you first teach your legs to inner spiral so that it opens up your lower back, which is normally what stops us from going further with length. And that's what we're looking for. You want to lengthen up. And again, head, belly, always head and belly, and come forward. My belly helps me to keep my hips down to the earth. Then when I feel that grounding, I can lift up through the spine a little more, but you have to have the feeling of the open chest. Let's get that here. It doesn't matter to me if you go down a millimeter or you go down to your knees. It doesn't matter. I want it to just feel like you're constantly opening and expanding the pose, not just doing the pose, just open and expand it. Let it go somewhere else. Exhale forward and inhale up and exhale forward and inhale up. One more time. Exhale forward and inhale up. See if you can keep your arms from locking. Keep your front body open. Good. Inhale up. Now from here, just for the moment, you are going to round. Round. Go down. You can feel how your belly isn't really engaged. Your head is drooping down, but you can breathe into your back body a little bit more. So let's do that. Just breathe into the back body. Just allow the back body to really feel the depths of the breath. You really want to feel your lungs and your muscles working together, remembering that the lungs on their own can do nothing. It is the muscles around it that need to be toned and working. So just feel that, and then inhale and come all the way back up into a seated pose. This time, inner spiral again, because I always lose it. It's very hard to, especially when you're seated and something is grounded onto the earth. You can't keep the inner spiral of the low back. It's really, really hard. Right leg crosses over this time. Left arm reaches. You want to feel the length. You want to feel the front body open. Cross over. Now, I bend a little bit to get deeper onto the arm and the knee. Once I have that, then you lift. Then open the front chest. You notice how opening the front chest is done with the head of the arm bone up and back, but you don't need any more than that. Adding the arm up or doing whatever else just is already using what what you've already set up, that front body open. Breathing in and taking a nice deep breath down into the belly. Go to the twist to where you feel you can be maxed out. Still connecting into your hips on the floor, breathing all the way up through to the top of your head, rotating in your waistline. So the left rib cage reaches for the right knee. Good. And then release and come all the way back to center. This time, bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana, inner spiral again, which means the inner part of the thighs pressing inward and down, lifting all the way up, and find the open chest again, and you're the four corners, hips and shoulders in the same plane, and then coming forward with a flat back. Here we go again, head, belly. Put your hands up for a moment, you can feel that. Doesn't matter how restricted you are in terms of how much you can go forward. Head to hand, hand to belly. It's not like one part of your body is asleep while you're doing any of these poses. And inhale up. And exhale forward. Everybody is coming to the party, and inhale up. It's part of why yoga is called union. And exhale forward. Inhale up. Last time, exhale forward. And inhale up. Good. So now you're going to take your feet mat width apart. Hands are behind you with fingerprints going towards your hips. You're going to move the arm bone up and back to get the front of your heart open. And then let your knees go from one side to another. Just notice, with all the hip work that we've done today, whether any tightness has been opened, whether you can feel a little more acutely the difference between the two sides. Again, make sure that you're letting one knee go into the center, so you can really get a sense of the rotation of your hip. And then the next time that you're on the right side, you're going to come all the way up, lifting up, breathing your way to the top of your head, 7th chakra, then rotate around so that your hands are going to the back and you're breathing in a nice deep breath. And again, we're breathing into the twist, we're breathing into the back body. And I love how with each of the poses, I'm able to go to a different place with the breath. So to see where this particular pose brings your breath. Where do you feel it the most? And again, can we drop a moment of gratitude into everything your body does? And then press into the floor, release, come all the way back up to the seated pose. Again, having your knees mat width apart, fingerprints towards you, head of the arm bone up toward the ear back, and you're going to let your knees once again go from side to side. Good. And the next time that you're on the left side, you're going to roll over to the left side, lift all the way up. Find your length first. Get a little bit of a grounding through your hips. You see how the right hip goes up? Just a little grounding. Then bring your right hand around. Your hip is really going to lift here, but you want to keep your belly engaged. Twist, return elbows onto the floor, forearms onto the floor, hands in prayer. And once again, breathe into your twist, breathe into your back body. This is again giving yourself a moment of gratitude so that you can just be grateful for everything everything that your body does. And just feel the power of your own existence here, of being. What is it to be on this planet? Getting the most out of that and just breathing into the gratitude of having this moment on this earth to share your gifts. And then once again, inhale and come all the way back up. So hopefully you have the pillow or the one block. We're going to come onto our back and put the block underneath our hips. You can bring the block to whatever position feels right to you. It could be this lower end or the mid end. I'd either do one or the other, not to the higher end for this. We're just kind of keeping our practice a little lower today, energy-wise. You're bringing your head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. You're on the top of your head, so you can give your front body the opportunity to open and then land down onto the floor. So the back of your head of the arm bone is now part of your grounding. And let your hands go palms up towards the ceiling. That's an important adjustment. Hands up. Keeping the head of the arm bone. That will help you keep the head of the arm bone in place. Now place your feet onto the floor so that they're hip width apart, not mat width apart. Hip width apart. Press into your feet and then lift up off of the block. Hips up off the block. Then drop your hips towards the block without settling on it. Just drop your hips down, keeping your feet as part of the grounding, and then lift your hips up so that you're a little bit more extended into Setu Bandha. Then drop your hips, just the top of your thighs. Drop your top of your thighs. Now engage your belly into that. And then with belly engaged, head of the arm bone onto the floor, back of the head onto the floor. Lift your hips up a little bit more. Take your knees away from your heart and take your heart towards your head. And breathe. Good. Then release. Come all the way back down. Setu Bandha. Bring your knees into your chest. You're still on the block. Hopefully the block is underneath your sacrum, the larger part of your hip bone. And you're going to lift your legs all the way up. Spread your toes. Now staying on the block, you're going to keep your right leg up, but your left leg is going to go down towards the floor, heel hitting the floor. So you're getting a front stretch on your left side. Nice deep breath. You can add your left arm up over your head. Maybe your right as well. And breathe. Good, then release, come all the way back down. Feet find themselves together. Then your left leg is going to stay upright while your right leg goes down towards the floor as you stretch the front of your right leg. Heel down towards the floor. And breathe. A nice deep breath. We're just going to do that one more time. Lift your right leg all the way back up. Spread your toes. Left leg ventures down to the floor with your heel touching the floor, stretching your left side. This is a way of stretching your psoas muscle. And inhale all the way back up, and right leg stretches down. And breathe. A nice deep breath. And then release back. This is a half shoulder stand. So just hold this for a moment. Really good for circulating circulating the blood in your legs, reversing the flow, and giving your heart a little bit of a break. You bring your hands back towards your hips, palms still up towards the ceiling, and just breathe into this opening. A nice deep breath. Just allow this summer beauty, this summer day, the summer time to influence the warmth of your breath. And then slowly begin to release again. Feet onto the floor. You can press into the floor to take your block out from under your hips. Roll all the way back up into a seated pose. And just take a few minutes to find whatever seated pose works for you. Sukhasana, your feet in front of one another. Could be that you're going to venture into a half lotus, a full lotus, I don't know. Who knows? It's a summer practice. But wherever you are, let me come out of my lotus, breathing in just a nice deep breath. Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to just consciously feel this practice before we move into a Shavasana. Just breathing in. Feeling again that center line, that connection. Taking in the beauty of the summer, these long days, these beautiful colors, the blossoming of all the flowers, the trees, the energy around us, the birds. It's a light, an earth full of life. And then find your way into Shavasana. I'm just going to check the time. Let's find your way into Shavasana. Feel the connection between the earth and your body. Feel your breath in the back body. Tribute to John Lewis. We always ask, how will we go on? Who will take your place? Who will fill this gap? No one fills this gap. No one takes your place. Others will find their own voice. We go on because we walk on the road you paved, but our own feet must hit the ground. So allow small movements to come back into your fingers and back into your toes. And let your knees float up into your chest and hug them in, gently rocking from side to side to one side as you pause for a moment and breathe into your own inner landscape. And then continue the side roll all the way up to a seated pose, bringing your hands to prayer position at your heart center. And together we will do one Om. So take a breath in. Om. May we have peace in our heart, peace in our mind, and true and everlasting peace and healing on this planet. Namaste.